Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob, and welcome to the Epileptic Gamer podcast. I wasn't initially going to do an Arcane episode. I was going to do, as promised, the episode that you guys voted on. But around 5 a.m., Arcane, or League of Legends channel, dropped a teaser. More of a clip, I guess you could say, on Arcane Season 2. Yet, it's the first time we get to see Jinx in action. And she's running from somebody. And that's what makes this clip so interesting. Jinx is running from somebody. That's the first red flag. Who do we know that maybe, I guess, does she have a bounty on her head? Because if she is running, there's something big at play. And it can't be Warwick. Not yet. Unless she saw him early on. Which, if that's the case, God help her. But I don't think it is. I don't think that's the case at all. I think what it is I think the Chem Barons finally realized Silco is dead. And after being harassed by Jinx for so long, they are coming for their pound of flesh. And one of them, I believe his name is Shmi, I could be wrong on that. One of them comes, sure enough, for his pound of flesh. And it backfires significantly. He does get to her. And he pins her against the wall, and it works. However, when he gets a little too confident, makes the joke that, oh, well, I never thought I'd see you cry. Maybe Silco never even saw you cry. Jinx drops probably the two hardest lines I've ever heard. And it is just too simple. And whoever decided to write it this way deserves a damn raise. It's simple, really. This is all she says. When I met him, and when I killed him. That's all she says. And that's the final lines that she says in that clip. After that, she's just struggling. And that's something I want to bring up later on too. Why is she struggling? But one thing I want to bring up is he brings up that they are looking for her alive. Who is they? That could be a lot of different people. They could be the enforcers. Because who knows, maybe if they turn in Jinx, there could be a deal on the price that, hey, we don't get anything and we're not in trouble. We're immune. We give you Jinx, we want immunity. That could be that type of thing. Maybe Ambessa and Noxus are making their own type of deals behind the scenes. It could be a lot of different things. I think, personally, they is definitely Caitlyn's task force. That's just the way I'm leaning. I can see that's probably not how they're going to go towards it. But if we want to take it at face value, they are saying they are looking for you alive. And in the trailers, they don't say kill Jinx. It's locate Jinx. That's what Caitlyn is briefing her team on. So I think Caitlyn probably is putting up these posters like you see. Shmi found one, and it's like, okay, I see my opportunity to get out of this place alive. He comes for his pound of flesh. It backfires by literally having Savika, of all people, save Jinx. And we know she saves Jinx because this is an extension of the moment when we see her use the gun in the trailer. we can see Jinx in the background in the trailer pick up the arm that she's holding. So she's there. She makes it. So whatever goes down in between that 5 to 10 second time span is going to be insane. If this is what they're willing to show to us in a minute 30, imagine what they're willing to show to us in 9 to 12 episodes. November can't get here soon enough. And I mean that with a shadow of a doubt. November cannot get here soon enough. Which is a perfect segue into the next piece of Arcane news. Netflix suffered a site-wide data leak. That's what I was trying to say. Site-wide data leak. And including that was the first 5 episodes of Arcane Season 2. Now, if you wanted to be an asshole, you can go ahead and look at them online. Don't support the animators. But, in my opinion, I think you should. You should not go online and watch them. It's covered in watermarks, from what I'm told. You can go on Twitter. I didn't see any, but you go on Twitter. They say it's like 360p, the audio is terrible, and it's covered in watermarks. But the first full 5 episodes are there. Now, be careful where you go on YouTube as well. Because just because there's clips coming out doesn't exactly mean people are going to be the nicest in the comments. I don't know that if everything is true, people could be trolling online. So you gotta take stuff at face value. But this is your quick heads up. I would mute Arcane Season 2 leaks. I'd do it. Look up. You do not want to look up anything online when it comes to Arcane Season 2. There is a lot of stuff out there that got leaked. A lot of clips out there that got leaked. The clip that was supposed to be a surprise, that got leaked. This was supposed to be a surprise today. It wasn't. Someone found the link because of the leak. That's how bad this is. And I could go on about leakers for an entire 40 minutes, but that's not what this episode is about. This episode is about Arcane, and I want to keep it on track. And I want to bring this up. The clip was called "The Enemy of My Enemy." So, we can now officially confirm Svika and Jinx are working together. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's how the saying goes. Jinx and Svika were enemies in Season 1. They're going to be enemies of Topside in Season 2. And while the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Jinx is the enemy of Topside. Svika is the enemy of Topside. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. The Undercity is going to go through hell and back when these two take over. And I mean it. This is going to be fun. This is going to be dark. This is going to have emotions running high. November is going to get probably... Twitter is going to break. I don't even know how to describe it. Twitter will break when... I think Netflix will probably crash too. Let's just call a spade a spade. Netflix will crash. You're going to see a spike in memberships. The whole 9 yards. And people are going to see Arcane, and you can mark my words now. It's August 10th. Come back to this episode when, like a week before Arcane Season 2 comes out. Arcane will reach number one at least 1 week before season 2 comes out. And you can guarantee that. Now, let's move on from that. We are all wondering about the release date. Now, with the clip coming out last night, if you were to go on Google, I do not know if this changed. I haven't had the chance to check because I immediately made this podcast episode after watching the clip for about 20 times because it was just amazing. But that's neither here or there. But I had the feeling that the November 2nd date that they gave you on Google, because you can look at season 1 and season 2. It says season 1, episode 1, November 2nd. That worries me because are we getting weekly episodes? Are we doing it in acts like we did in season 1? Or are we doing it, like I said, all at once? There's a lot of different stuff that they never answered. All we know is that this is a November release date. November 2nd is the confirmed release date. Supposedly confirmed, I should say. And if that's on Google, I mean, that can get changed at any time. But I have a feeling the leaks being out, we're going to see release dates scheduled sooner rather than later. I don't think it's going to be a special trailer. It's just going to be them showing, here's the photo, here's the episode names. Or they're not going to put in case of spoilers, they're not even going to put the episode names. They're going to say, here's when Act 1 comes out, Act 2 comes out, Act 3 comes out, and Act 4 comes out. And I say Act 4 because I am a firm believer that this needs 4 acts. This needs 12 episodes. There is so much that you gotta tie up in such a little amount of time that you cannot do it in 3 acts. So, where does that leave us? That leaves us with a shitload of Arcane news that got dumped within the past week, to the point where I might have to reevaluate how I even make this title. Because as of me recording this, it's just called, let's talk about the latest Arcane news. Yeah, that's gonna get changed about 5,000 times. But here's the long takeaway. Too long, don't read. This is going to be a wild ride. If you do not want to get spoiled, go on the Twitter and mute as much, like Arcane S2 leaked 4 episodes, Arcane Season 2 leaked 4 episodes. As much as you think you can get leaked, you want to mute that. People are starting threads on what accounts to mute, what accounts to block. Personally, I don't think I have to block any accounts, because if I'll be able to scroll fast. I'll be able to scroll past it fast enough for me not to be able to look at it, and hopefully I never come across them in the first place. I think enough people probably reported them by now for them to be either banned or suspended. And I'm sure Riot Games and 4T Studios are already working on how to get the leaks taken down. But that's easier said than done in the long run. But where do we leave off? Is November 2nd the true release date? Or is that like the second week in November? It could be a lot of different things. But if we're getting an early November release date, that tells me there's 4 acts. Because that would go November 2nd to 9th. That goes to the whole month of November. And that is a cool idea. I think it's going to go 4 acts. And if they wanted to, fuck it, let's go 5. This is the final season of Arcane, folks. we can go nuts here. And I hope to God they nail it. They are playing it smart by saying, hey, we know where our limits are. We know why we gotta hit this point. So this is why we're cutting it off. That is smart. I applaud them for doing that. But at the same time, I think they're also shooting themselves in the foot. I think that they could do it better, and that's a different episode for a different time. I already put that episode on, well, hiatus because this happened. So, let's do a quick recap before I sign off. The Netflix leaks. Stay away from them. Shit's gonna go down. Twitter's gonna be hostile for a very long time. Until November. TikTok is also a big medium. Luckily, my TikTok account is kinda dead at the moment. Sorry about that if you guys follow me on TikTok. But we hopefully can get that back up and running. Arcane is unfortunately... I'm not even going to post a clip of Arcane, this audio clip on there, because of how many people are probably muted Arcane Season 2. That's not fair. So, then the clip, I highly recommend watching it. That's going to be trending within the day. And last but not least, the release date. Will it be November 2nd? I think so. I think if they want to get as much story as possible out of this, they either do 3 acts of 4 episodes, or 4 acts of 3 episodes. And they can do it right. You have to introduce Warwick, you have to introduce High Evolutionary Victor, you have to introduce so many people. And hopefully they can get it done the correct way. But if you don't, the fandom will eat you alive. And that's the cold, hard truth. Arcane will, without a doubt, go down in history as one of the greatest video adaptations ever made. And I think Season 2 will also go down as one of the greatest sequels for the video game adaptations ever made. Do I think improvements will be made in the next upcoming, whatever this series they kind of make? Hopefully it's Buildwater. Hopefully it's Misfortune. I pray to God it is. But like I said, a different episode, different time. Let's focus on now. Do I think that they will do 4 acts? I think so. Do I think it needs 4 acts? 100%. Too much story for them to do in 9 episodes. I think it needs 12. Because that way, if you finish up the story in 9, you can tie up the loose ends in the final 3 episodes. Or you can tie up loose ends in Acts 2 and 3, and then everything else gets finished up in Act 4, and everybody's happy. Ta-da! Problem solved. Now, I would usually call it short, but we're approaching the 20-minute mark, and I usually hit 13. So, I'm going to finish up with this. Arcane Season 2 is going to be a ride. It's going to be a roller coaster of emotions, and it's going to be one hell of a TV show. Arcane will without a doubt go down in history as one of the greatest shows of all time when it comes to animation. I think it'll win multiple Emmys. I think it's going to win Best Animation, Best Video Game Adaptation, and you know what? Fuck it. Let's go Best Voice Actress, Purnell. I think she can do so much. in the fact that Ella Purnell even said that when she had to go revoice a scene for the final episode, that she cried. What the fuck happened? And I did not mean to swear at her, I'm sorry. But what scene did she record that made the voice actress of Jinx, of all people, cry? This is going to be fun. And if you don't think it's going to be, then check your pulse, because it is going to be fun. And I started with my phone on vibrate. If you heard those jingles, I am sorry. But that is all for this episode of the Epileptic Gamer podcast. You guys will be getting another one very soon, but this is August 10th. The clip has only been out for like 3 hours now, and I had to get this up because a shitload of Arcane stuff came out, and I needed to get it out there. So, I hope you guys have a great August, and hopefully, this is the only Arcane episode I have to do in August. If there's more, I will do it. I do not like being known as the Arcane guy. I'm called the Epileptic Gamer, not the Epileptic Arcane guy. So, hopefully I can get back on the gaming horse soon. I intend to. I want to get a few episodes back in there before I get another Arcane episode in. But that is all, and I will see you guys in the next episode. I am Jacob, also known as the Epileptic Gamer, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.